At this time of year, I find myself in a big rush to take advantage of the non rainy days and do as many outdoor things as I can. I've been going out for walks, I've been doing outdoor sketching, and I harvested some stinging nettles the other day. Yes, that's right, stinging nettles, but that's, I think, a story for another day. But today I want to talk to you about another one of my personal symbols, and this one is the labyrinth. I went out and walked a labyrinth that's not too far away from where I live, and this is a symbol that shows up in my artwork from time to time. Here's a sketch off a labyrinth at Naramata Center that I did a couple of years ago when I was doing a family weaving workshop there. Then a few years ago, I made several of these little clay finger labyrinths that I've been giving away to people. And I've got this rubber stamp that I carved using the only labyrinth pattern that I know how to make. And I just found out it's called a classical labyrinth. And then earlier this year, I was introduced to the idea of writing the labyrinth. And the idea is you create a labyrinth design, and then instead of walking or drawing with your finger along the path, you write a message. It could be a question, it could be a statement, whatever you like, and you never know what will come up. Oh, and here's something that I found when I was looking for those journals. My friend Penelope made this sweet little book. She provides instructions on the back of it for creating a classical style labyrinth, and this was the only way that I knew how to make a labyrinth for a long time. But recently, a local YouTuber, Jenny Johnson, coincidentally made a video about labyrinths that she makes, and she has a slightly different version. So that's the process that I'm going to use today. So this style has, in addition to the cross in the center and the dots, it also has 4 angles around the outside. And then basically you just trust the process and connect up the dots and the lines to form your labyrinth. Maybe I should tell you a little bit about what a labyrinth, the way that I'm using the word, is and what it isn't. So a labyrinth is not exactly a maze. A maze is often a structure that has lots of dead ends and twists and turns, and you have to make a lot of decisions to find the correct path out. And personally, I've been in a few hedge mazes and corn mazes, and I find them really crazy making. I feel really uncomfortable when I lose my sense of direction and don't know how to get back out again. And a labyrinth is not intended to do that. It's intended to be a meditative process. The large scale ones don't necessarily have to have high walls. And like a maze, there are twists and turns, but there is just one path to the center, and it's intended as a meditative process, and you just follow the path as you walk mindfully. And it's quite surprising. It takes longer than you think to get to the middle, and you can't always see how you're going to get there, but you do. If you just follow the path, you do get there. And now I'm starting to write my message, and here's what I said. Let's get started. There is only one path. The way may not be clear, but all you have to do is put one foot in front of the other and keep going. Everything will work out as it should. You just need to trust and believe. The answer has already been found. You just have to do the work to get there. The reward is waiting for you. And I kept writing, but the camera did not keep recording, so that's all I got. And then I lost some of my words, and because on the way out, I'm writing over the words that I wrote on the way in. I don't know what those missing words are, but here's the rest of it. Make improvements to your processes. You just need to have confidence in your abilities and not compare yourself to others. They have their own path to travel. And wow, I had an idea of what I was going to write, but really there is a message there that I need to hear today, because I've been having a little bit of questioning what I'm doing. And I think that's a good reminder to keep to my own path. So now what I'm doing is I'm writing down some of the words that felt relevant to me that I want to remember, and I want to have those to be part of the visible message that I leave on my page. And I decided to not use path. I thought path and journey were both the same thing, so I'm just going to use journey. I thought that the labyrinth itself needed a little bit more definition, so now I'm going in with a blue pen and adding some shadows in some places. I'm not outlining the whole labyrinth, I'm just adding those shadows in a few places. I'm going to glue the words down on top of the labyrinth. Now I'm just grabbing random supplies that are lying around on my desk, because that's how often my artwork evolves. And again, something stopped recording, so time lapse future. This is in the future, and so darkened up the area around the labyrinth because I don't want the background to be so visible. And then added a little bit here and there. I'm using my favorite tools lately, the acrylic paint pens and the kids' twistable waxy crayons. And I'm fiddling and fiddling and fiddling, and another word came to me. It's not something that I wrote down, but it's a word that I feel really encompasses this piece, and that is persevere. Persevere in creating the labyrinth. If at first it doesn't look the way you like it to look, just keep adding more to it, which is, as a maximalist artist, that is often my art strategy, is add more. And even in creating this labyrinth, because one of the things that I didn't show you at the beginning is this was actually the third version of the labyrinth that I created. The first one, I ran out of space at the top of the page before I was finished, so I decided to start over, and that one didn't go much better. I ran out of space at the top of the page as well, and then I had to give it some thought, and I realized that I was starting too high up on the page. So the third one worked, and I do think this exercise has given me the lesson to persevere and keep going. I looked up the definition of persevere in a dictionary, and it says to continue in a course of action, even in the face of difficulty or with little or no prospect of success. And I think those are good words to remember, that sometimes if you do persevere, you can succeed in the end.